Emma stood in the kitchen when the phone rang. The sound was sharp against the quiet morning. She wiped her hands on a towel and picked up the call. The voice on the other end was calm but heavy. A police officer asked if she knew a woman named Katie. Emma froze for a moment before saying yes. The officer told her there had been an accident. Katie's car had gone off the road the night before. They found her wallet, her phone, and a small silver necklace. Emma leaned against the counter trying to process the words. Her breath slowed, but her mind was already moving. She asked if Katie was alive. The officer paused before saying they were still identifying the body. Then he mentioned something else. There was a child in the car. Emma dropped the towel. Her eyes went to the living room where a half-packed suitcase sat. Katie had left 3 days ago. Said she needed time to think. Emma thought it was just another fight. She never imagined this. She asked the officer how old the child was. He said around 6, maybe 7. Emma's voice cracked as she asked for the name. He said the papers listed the boy as Ryan. She hung up and stood still for a long time. The house was too quiet. The morning sun touched the floor. She walked to the living room and sat down. Ryan's toy car was under the couch. A red one with a missing wheel. She picked it up and held it tight. Her mind replayed the last time she saw them together. Katie had stood at the door, her face pale. Ryan clung to her leg. Emma had asked her to stay. Katie said she couldn't anymore. Said she was tired of pretending. Emma asked what she meant. Katie didn't answer. She kissed Ryan's head and walked out. Now the silence was back. Emma got up and opened the window. The air outside was cold. The neighbor's dog barked once and stopped. She looked across the street where Katie's old car used to park. The spot was empty. The wind carried the sound of distant traffic. Emma closed the window and turned away. By afternoon she drove to the station. The officer met her at the front desk. He handed her a clipboard and asked for identification. His eyes softened when he saw her name. They led her to a small room. There was a folder on the table. Inside were photos from the crash. Emma didn't look at them. She only stared at the necklace in the evidence bag. The small silver one she had seen Katie wear for years. The officer spoke quietly. He said the car hit a tree on a mountain road. No sign of another vehicle. Ryan was in the back seat. He survived the impact but had no family listed except Emma. Emma asked where he was. The officer said a social worker had taken him to the city hospital. That night she didn't sleep. The house felt different without sound. The clock ticked but time didn't move. At dawn she got in her car and drove to the hospital. The sky was still gray when she parked. Inside the hallway smelled of disinfectant and coffee. A nurse pointed her to the children's ward. Ryan was sitting on a bed near the window. His arm was bandaged. He looked up when she walked in. His eyes were tired but calm. He didn't say anything. Emma sat beside him and touched his hand. He didn't pull away. A doctor entered and said he would recover. Just some bruises and a mild concussion. Then he left. Emma looked at the boy again. His face had Katie's shape. The same eyes, the same quiet stare. She asked if he remembered what happened. He shook his head slowly. Then whispered that Katie told him to close his eyes before the car went dark. Emma felt something break inside, but she stayed quiet. She told him she would take him home. He didn't answer. He looked out the window where the sun was coming up. A thin line of light touched his face. Days passed. Funeral arrangements came and went. People brought flowers. Emma said little. Ryan stayed close but spoke less each day. He ate what she cooked. He followed her to the garden. Sometimes he stood by the gate and watched the road. One afternoon she found him in the attic. He was sitting by an old box. Inside were photographs. Emma knelt beside him. He held up one picture. Katie was standing with a man Emma didn't know. The man's hand rested on Katie's shoulder. Ryan asked if that was his father. Emma froze. She said she didn't know. Ryan said Katie told him his father lived far away. Emma nodded. She took the photo and placed it back in the box. That night she couldn't sleep again. She went to Katie's old room, opened the drawer and found letters tied with a blue ribbon. They were all from the same man. The handwriting was neat. He called Katie by her full name. He talked about a life they planned once. About leaving things behind. About a boy he never met but wanted to. Emma sat on the floor reading each one. By morning she understood. Katie had hidden too much. She never told Emma the full story. The man in the letters wasn't a stranger. He was the reason Katie left. Emma felt anger, then sadness, then something she couldn't name. But when she looked at Ryan's toys scattered on the carpet, she knew anger would not help. She burned the letters in the sink. The flame was small and steady. The paper turned to ash quickly. She washed the sink clean and went to wake Ryan. Months moved quietly. The seasons changed. Ryan started school. He began to draw again. He drew cars and trees and sometimes a woman with short hair. Emma asked who it was. He said it was his mother. Then he added another figure beside her. He said it was someone who didn't leave. Emma kept his drawings on the fridge. She started working again. The days grew lighter. People stopped asking questions. Life became a series of small normal moments. One evening Ryan came to her with a letter. He said it was for her. Inside was a school form. They needed a guardian signature. Emma looked at it and saw the blank space where a name should go. She wrote her own without hesitation. Ryan smiled and hugged her before running off to play. That night Emma went to the porch. The air was soft, the moon low. She thought of Katie. Of all the things that could have been said. Then she thought of the boy sleeping in the next room. She whispered that everything was going to be all right. Years later the garden was full of green. Ryan was taller now. He fixed the fence, painted the walls. He still had the red toy car, though the wheel was gone. Emma watched him from the window. He turned and waved. She waved back. Sometimes she still heard the echo of that phone call. But it no longer hurt the same way. The memory became quiet. Like a closed book resting on a shelf. Emma walked to the table and sat down. There was a photo frame beside her. Katie and Ryan smiling under the autumn sun. She placed her hand on the glass and closed her eyes. Outside the wind moved through the trees. The world kept its rhythm. Inside the house was still but alive. She stood up and turned off the light. In the darkness she could still see them. Katie with her quiet smile. Ryan with his bright eyes. She whispered their names once. Then she walked to her room. The next morning the sun filled the kitchen. Ryan was already up making breakfast. He asked if they could visit the lake. Emma said yes. They packed a basket and drove out of town. The road curved through open fields. The sky was clear. When they reached the lake, Ryan ran ahead. He threw stones across the water. Emma watched the ripples spread. The air smelled of grass and light. She sat on a rock and looked at the horizon. Ryan came back and sat beside her. He said he remembered something. He said before the crash Katie told him she was sorry. Emma nodded. She told him it was all right. He looked at her and smiled. For a long time neither of them spoke. The wind moved across the surface of the lake. The water shimmered under the sun. Emma reached out and took his hand. He held it tightly. The day passed slowly. When they drove back the sky turned orange. Ryan fell asleep in the seat beside her. Emma looked at him and then at the road ahead. The world outside was calm. No noise, no sirens, no calls. Just the quiet sound of tires on the road. She knew she would never get all the answers. But she had enough. The boy was safe. The past was gone. The road stretched forward. She kept driving until the sun disappeared. And when the first lights of the town appeared ahead, she smiled quietly. The road led home. The house waited. The story had ended, but life kept moving.